Did you know that everything around us is made of tiny things called molecules? It's true, these tiny building blocks are always moving and shaking. Even cooler, they can change and react with each other in amazing ways. That's what chemistry is all about, exploring the magic of molecules. Guess what? You can be a chemist right in your own home. Simple experiments are a great way to see the wonders of chemistry in action. The best part, they're super fun and help you learn at the same time.
Wow, I can't wait to start experimenting.
Me too. This is going to be so much fun.
Parents are always looking for activities to keep their kids entertained and engaged. It's tough to find something that's both fun and educational. But guess what? Science experiments are the answer. They're like magic tricks that you can learn to do yourself.
I never thought science could be the perfect solution. This sounds amazing.
Raw egg, clear glass or jar, white vinegar. These are the simple ingredients you'll need for this fascinating experiment.
First, gently place the egg in the glass. Make sure the egg is raw and uncracked for the best results. Then, pour vinegar into the glass until the egg is completely covered. You might notice some bubbles forming right away. Now, observe the egg for a few hours. The vinegar will start to react with the eggshell almost immediately. Do you see bubbles forming? These bubbles are a sign that a chemical reaction is taking place.
After a day or two, carefully remove the egg. The shell should be mostly or completely dissolved by now. What happened to the shell? You might see some remnants of the shell in the vinegar.
The vinegar contains acetic acid, which is a weak acid found in many household products. This acetic acid reacts with the calcium carbonate in the eggshell. Calcium carbonate is what gives the shell its hardness. This reaction produces carbon dioxide gas, those bubbles you see, and dissolves the shell, breaking it down into smaller particles, leaving the egg membrane intact. The membrane is flexible and holds the egg together without the shell.
Isn't that fascinating? This simple experiment shows how chemical reactions can change the properties of everyday materials. The eggshell disappears, but the egg remains. This is a great way to learn about chemistry and the reactions between acids and bases. Try this experiment at home and see the magic of science unfold right before your eyes. It's a fun and educational activity for all ages. You can also explore more about chemical reactions in your science books or online resources. The world of chemistry is full of wonders waiting to be discovered. Share your results with friends and family and inspire others to explore the amazing world of science. Happy experimenting.
All right, everyone, let's get ready for experiment 2, rainbow in a jar. This one is super fun and colorful. We're going to create a beautiful rainbow using different liquids that you probably have at home. It's a great way to learn about density and have a lot of fun at the same time.
For this experiment, you'll need a tall, clear glass or jar, honey, corn syrup, dish soap, water, vegetable oil, rubbing alcohol, and various colors of food coloring. Make sure you have everything ready before you start. It's important to have all your ingredients measured and prepared to make the process smooth and enjoyable.
First, carefully pour honey into the glass. Take your time with this step. Honey is very thick and dense, so it will form the bottom layer of our rainbow. Make sure to pour it slowly to avoid any bubbles or mixing with the next layer.
Next, slowly add corn syrup. Try not to mix it with the honey. Corn syrup is slightly less dense than honey, so it will sit on top of the honey if poured carefully. This step requires patience and a steady hand.
Now, repeat this process with dish soap, water, vegetable oil, and rubbing alcohol. Remember, add each layer slowly to keep them separate. Each of these liquids has a different density, which is why they will form distinct layers. Dish soap is denser than water, but less dense than corn syrup, so it will sit between them. Water is less dense than dish soap, and vegetable oil is less dense than water. Finally, rubbing alcohol is the least dense of all, so it will form the top layer.
After that, add a drop of different food coloring to each layer. This will make your rainbow even more vibrant and beautiful. You can use any colors you like, but it's fun to use the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Watch as the colors spread through each layer, creating a stunning visual effect.
And there you have it. Observe the beautiful rainbow of liquids that don't mix. It's like having a piece of the sky right in your jar. This experiment is not only visually appealing, but also a great way to understand the concept of density.
So, what's happening here? This experiment demonstrates density. Density is a measure of how much mass is contained in a given volume. In simpler terms, it's how heavy something is for its size. The liquids we used have different densities, which is why they form separate layers instead of mixing together.
Each liquid has a different density, with honey being the densest and alcohol the least dense. Because of this, they form separate layers. Honey, being the densest, sinks to the bottom, while rubbing alcohol, being the least dense, floats on top. This is a perfect example of how density works in real life.
It's a simple yet fascinating way to learn about density and see a rainbow right in a jar. This experiment can be a great addition to any science class or a fun activity to do at home. It not only teaches important scientific principles, but also encourages curiosity and exploration. So, gather your materials and give it a try. You'll be amazed at the beautiful rainbow you can create with just a few household items. Experiment 3, volcano time. Get ready for an explosive and educational adventure as we create our very own erupting volcano. This fun and simple science experiment is perfect for kids and adults alike, and it's a great way to learn about chemical reactions.
Here's what you'll need: a small, empty plastic bottle, modeling clay or Play-Doh, baking soda, vinegar, red food coloring, optional, and dish soap optional. Make sure you have all your supplies ready before you start. It's important to have everything within reach to ensure the experiment goes smoothly.
First, place the bottle on a tray or in a large bowl. This will help contain the mess when your volcano erupts. You might want to cover your work area with newspaper or a plastic tablecloth to make cleanup easier.
Next, use the modeling clay to build a volcano shape around the bottle. Be creative with your design. You can make it as tall or as wide as you like. Just make sure the bottle opening is not covered, as this is where the eruption will happen.
Fill the bottle halfway with vinegar. Vinegar is an acid and it will react with the baking soda to create the eruption. You can use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar, whichever you have on hand.
Add a few drops of red food coloring and a squirt of dish soap if you want extra fizz. The food coloring will make the eruption look more like lava, and the dish soap will create more bubbles, making the eruption even more exciting.
Now for the eruption, add a spoonful of baking soda to the bottle and watch what happens. The reaction will start almost immediately, so be ready to observe the volcanic eruption.
The science behind it is fascinating. The baking soda, which is a base, reacts with the vinegar and acid to create carbon dioxide gas. This gas builds up pressure inside the bottle until it forces its way out, creating the bubbly eruption.
The gas expands rapidly, causing a bubbly eruption that looks just like a volcano. This experiment is a great way to learn about chemical reactions and the properties of acids and bases, plus it's a lot of fun to watch. Try experimenting with different amounts of baking soda and vinegar to see how it affects the eruption. You can also try adding other ingredients like glitter or small pieces of paper to see how they change the appearance of the eruption. Have fun and happy experimenting. We tried the volcano experiment with a group of kids and their reactions were priceless.
Their eyes widened as the lava erupted.
The room filled with shrieks of excitement.
They were amazed by the simple chemical reaction they had created. It was a true testament to the power of hands-on learning. These experiments are not just about the wow factor, although that's definitely a big part of it.
They teach kids about important scientific concepts like density, chemical reactions, and the states of matter. Plus, they encourage curiosity, problem solving, and a love for science.
So there you have it, mind-blowing chemistry experiments that you can do at home. Remember, safety first. Always have an adult supervise and guide you. Now go out there, try these experiments, and get ready to be amazed by the wonders of science. Don't forget to share your experiences and keep exploring the world around you. Who knows what other scientific discoveries you might make?